Welcome to the Empowered Soul Podcast, a cozy audio nest of soulful musings and heart-made creations. If you're a mystical soul craving connection and inspiration, you've found your flock. Hi, I am MC Mama Bird, a mama, artist, soul regression therapist in training, and longtime yoga and meditation guide, sharing stories, conversations, and everyday magic for your soul and your family. Now take a deep breath and stretch your wings wide to enjoy the ride. Welcome back, beautiful friends. It has been almost a month since I last created one of these updates from my heart, and it feels so good to be back with you. You've been in my heart, in my mind and soul, and thinking about this actual moment, and it's finally here. It's happening. It's rolling. If you've noticed, there's a bit more space now between the episodes lately, and that has been intentional. I decided to shift the rhythm of the podcast to about once a month, and then maybe whenever inspiration just arises. That just feels more sustainable for the season of my life. And as you tune in through today's episode, one of the biggest lessons life has been teaching me lately is to learn to honor the natural rhythms instead of forcing them. And I'd like to share with you a few beautiful reasons for this change. One of the biggest is that my certification in past life and between lives soul regression therapy is beginning to move. And it's coming into the forefront of my life and my work. It has become one of the deepest areas of my study. And as a result, I recently created a new soul regression page on my website. It's just a little doorway into this next chapter that I'm so excited about. And it's only the beginning. But if you're curious about what soul regression is, why it fascinates me so much, or how it can support our healing and understanding of the soul's journey, I would be so delighted, and I warmly invite you to visit that page. It is very much a living creation, and as a result, it will continue to grow as I continue to grow with it. I'll be leaving the link in the description show notes. At the same time, I have also been deeply devoted to one of the greatest callings, the greatest calling of my life, motherhood. My little boy is growing so quickly, and I know these precious years won't last forever. Every mama that I talk to always says to me, "It goes so fast, enjoy it while you can." And more, I find myself choosing presence over productivity, understanding that these moments are part of my purpose too. My work is important, but so is sitting on the floor, and I want to play more with him and comfort him when he's sick and read more stories together, and simply said, enjoy these fleeting little years before they become beautiful memories. And then after our trip to the UK, life seemed to unfold all at once. I kid you not. So many projects that had been patiently waiting for me suddenly just stepped forward, and they were not just asking for my attention, but yelling. Some of them were dreams I had wanted to nurture for a long time, and others just arrived with so much urgency. And let's be honest, chaos just sprinkled in. Add to that the normal rhythm of returning home after a big trip, catching up on everyday life, and as many parents know, navigating those health bumps along the way. And during the winter, it's often the colds, the sniffles, and then we've been getting these unusually hot summer days with temperatures climbing way over 100 degrees. So there's been heat rashes and skin sensitivities that just have been keeping me on my toes. So, we're just not used to those kinds of temperatures. So we've just been taking precautions and taking care of each other. It's been a lot, I tell you. Even so, every single day, I've just been chipping away slowly, one little step at a time, bit by bit, so that I don't get overwhelmed. And lately, I'm feeling just a little more caught up with my mentors, my classes, and all the beautiful projects that are unfolding behind the scenes. One milestone that especially fills my heart is that the mommy and baby parenting school I've been part of for 4 years is coming to a graduation at the end of August. I really can't believe that. 4 years. I started going to that school and parenting classes as soon as I found out I was pregnant. I needed help. I needed support. I needed community. And it has taught me so much. And if you've listened to this podcast, you have probably heard me talk about all those nuggets of wisdom that I've woven into our motherhood episodes and conversations. I literally have pages and pages of notes that I can't wait to continue sharing in some future episodes devoted to motherhood. It's just a matter of time and space so that all of this can come together into the future. And if I'm being completely honest with you, this Mercury Retrograde moving us through Cancer season and now into the Leo season that we are in, oh my goddess, it just stirred up a tremendous amount of emotionality for me. There were moments where I wanted to sit down behind this mic and share everything with you, but my energy, my focus, and my heart just simply weren't ready yet. And looking back now, even though then I thought I was falling behind, I wasn't. I just was being invited to listen more deeply to this subtle rhythm of life that was asking me to slow down and to go within. And as you'll discover throughout today's conversation, I have a feeling that this may be the greatest lesson of all. I realize it was exactly what I should have expected. I mean, Cancer, it has a beautiful way of bringing old emotions to the surface. We know that. Many of them are rooted not only in our own experiences, but in our family history. All that story, all the cultural stuff, and even the patterns that have been passed down through generations upon generations. And whether you follow the astrology or you appreciate it as a, symbolic language kind of thing, I find Cancer invites us to ask some really honest questions. Like, where are these emotions really coming from? Which ones truly belong to me? Which ones have simply been inherited? What beliefs, fears, or ways of responding have become part of my nervous system over the years? And perhaps the most important one of all is, what am I finally ready to heal so that I don't continue passing this stuff forward, especially with my little boy, and imagining all the kids that will come forward, possibly, from this generation. So I just found myself moving through many sleepless nights. I kid you not, ruminating, overthinking, trying to make sense of everything. I mean, I'm a super sensitive and also emotional soul, trying to regain a sense of control. And life would just has a funny way of reminding us that we're not here to control every chapter. And sometimes it also whispers, and other times it just lovingly insists that we surrender. Let it go, girl. Let it go. Life wasn't working against me. It was just inviting me. Slow it down and listen. Listen more tenderly. Listen deeply. There were so many moments that I wanted to sit and just record because I truly miss these conversations with you. But my energy and my focus and my heart just weren't there yet. And instead, I just found myself sharing little moments of life on our Instagram and on our Facebook. Just small human moments so that I wouldn't lose touch with other people in our lives, and little victories, just little joys from our everyday life. And this reminds me that now that we're moving to a once a month schedule with the podcast, and if you'd like to stay in touch with us and have more MC Mama Bird moments between the episodes, I'd love for you to join us there. And those little snapshots have just become a sweet way for us to stay connected while life is unfolding. And I will leave those links in the description notes in case you want to be with us riding the journey that way. Behind the scenes, I've also been slowly creating a beautiful photo travel journal from the trip to the UK. The first chapter will take us through London, and I cannot wait to share that with you. That's the next project I'm working on to publish soon after these episodes go out. So, like so many of the projects in my heart, it has been patiently waiting too for its turn. And it's just reminding me that all these beautiful creations that we do don't disappear. They aren't finished yet. And they're waiting for us. And then when the season is right and the door opens, they bloom. One of the greatest teachings from Mercury Retrograde that it's given me this year has been patience. We often think these periods have delays, miscommunication, technology glitches, and I mean, those things do happen. But I do think that the deeper invitation here is more profound when we poke around. It's truly a season, like nature. It gives us these lulls, these pauses, these moments to then ask, hey, go inward a bit before we continue moving forward and outward, especially in the summer. I mean, summer in the northern hemisphere and winter in the southern hemisphere. Either way, these little pauses and lulls are so healthy and so necessary. For example, listening before we speak, repair before building. Hey, repairing your foundations, right? To heal before we create, to listen so that we can create crystal clear intentions, and so on, right? Nurturing what is quietly asking for our attention, and especially before it cries out for it. Sometimes that old emotional wound resurfaces. Sometimes it's an inner child longing to be heard, and we may have different ones at different ages, the 5-year-old, the teenager, the 8-year-old. And then other times it's a relationship, a health habit, or a difficult conversation we've been avoiding. Or perhaps it's a creative idea that's been patiently waiting beneath the surface. So whatever it is, life has a remarkable way of showing us what still needs our attention and our love. Many of those invitations are also not very comfortable. Some of the truths we discover aren't the ones we were hoping to find. Yet I kept coming back to an image of a garden. We don't prune because we don't like the plant. We prune because we love it enough to help it flourish. And in that same way, life is asking us to release certain habits, certain beliefs, fears, and patterns that no longer nourish who we're becoming. But it isn't about punishment or, hey, I'm pruning you and that's it. It's about being grateful for the teachings that these difficulties have given us. It's a form of bowing down to it. Thank you. It's part of my preparation. It's making room for the next season of growth and not being aggressive on ourselves, but gentle and kind, grateful. And here's what has brought me so much hope. That this discomfort, it doesn't last forever. Because every time we choose a healthier response, every time we practice becoming that version of ourselves that we're growing into, something starts to move and shift beneath the surface. The first time that we start to address becoming our version that we want to be, the version that we're becoming, and the first time that we are really vocalizing our inner truth and strength, things may feel unfamiliar, overwhelming, so maybe it fills up 100% of our emotional landscape. But then the next time this invitation arises from life to be the change that we want to be, maybe it's uncomfortable 75% of the time. And then slowly, with practice, because remembering this is a practice, this whole thing is a practice. I mean, it's not like we downloaded a manual and we knew exactly what we were going to do in each situation. It's all a learning process, right? So then maybe it's 60% and 30%. And then it just starts to become part of us, part of our rhythm, part of our energy, part of our constitution. Every time it's just a little more gentle, and we start to find safety within our nervous system, that it is okay to speak our truth, to desire what we're desiring, and so on and so forth. And our rebound just becomes quicker. And we begin to trust ourselves more. And I've been witnessing this in my own life for this whole year. In the very beginning part of this year, it was a little tough, it was really hard to be able to just start moving in the direction of where I ultimately wanted to be. But now, 7 months into this and a little more, my rebound time is a lot shorter. And I feel more strength in my own body. It wasn't overnight. And again, it's a practice. So it hasn't been about, oh, I'm healing and therefore I'm never going to be triggered again. It's about meeting each moment as it arises with more awareness, perhaps even curiosity, perhaps even, joy, more compassion. Because you know that where that discomfort or that situation that is a trigger, where it's taking you is towards more wisdom, more self-trust, self-confidence than we ever had before, because we're committed. And that's perhaps what I've been learning most of all. Life is always speaking to us. This is a conversation between us and the divine or the field. And as we grow in awareness, we simply become more fluent in the language between us and Creator and creation. So I sat with all of those emotions, and something else slowly began to reveal itself. Isn't that often how this whole healing thing works anyway? So we think we're working on one thing, and little by little, life uncovers something even deeper underneath it all. And for me, one of those deeper lessons has been about belonging. Not belonging because I worked hard enough to earn this. I proved myself enough. Or I kept trying to make certain relationships into something they just simply weren't meant to be. Just belonging because I am already loved, where love naturally exists, and it exists for me. So I realized something after our trip from England, and after many months of reflection, that there just comes a point where we lovingly accept that certain dynamics simply are what they are, that certain relationships just are the way they are, that certain people in our lives, they just are where they are in their life. And that doesn't make anyone wrong, and it doesn't mean we stop caring. It just simply means we stop asking that relationship to become something it has consistently shown to us that it isn't. So acceptance isn't giving up. It's just making peace with reality. And then we can stop exhausting ourselves trying to change what isn't ours to change. And perhaps those are insights into our habitual patterns on codependency. And for a long time, I carried a backpack that just wasn't mine to carry, but I felt responsible for keeping certain relationships alive, reaching out, making sure everyone stayed connected, hoping to feel recognized, included, loved, and understood, or to be loved in a way that I wanted to be loved. But somewhere along the way, though, I just put that backpack down. Not in anger, not with resentment, and definitely not because I closed my heart, because I love my heart and I'm a sucker for love. I just simply realized that if people wanted to know how I'm doing, they know where to find me. The door is still open, but here's the difference. I am no longer standing in the doorway hoping that someone will walk through it. That huge shift has brought me so much unexpected peace, and I've become a protector of my inner peace. I have this thing that I called KISS, which is an acronym for Keep It Super Simple. And it has just redirected my attention towards the people, the places, and the creations that naturally love me back and support me and nourish me. My little family, the students and connections that I have through these creations, the beautiful podcast community that we together are creating, my creative work, the friendships that just are so easy to flow with mutual care, encouragement, and sweet appreciation. Those relationships, they're not a consolation prize, and they certainly isn't about numbers. They are the garden that I've been tending all along. I just hadn't fully stopped to recognize it. And this reminds me of something I wrote recently in one of my posts talking about gardening and pulling a few weeds, water what is growing, celebrate those tiny little sprouts, and trust the unseen roots. I mean, in the beginning, when I wrote that post, and it's another reason why I would love to stay connected with you through the Facebook or Instagram if you feel pulled by spirit, because it's really fun to interact with one another and to share some of the things that are happening in our lives. Because when I wrote that, I thought, oh, I'm going to write about tomatoes and write about our gardening plan. But I wrote that about the beginning of Mercury Retrograde. But I realized it was really a writing about life. We're pulling weeds not because we have some battle with the garden. It's because we love it enough to give those healthy plants more room to flourish. And in the same way, we're also releasing those habits that no longer love us back, expectations, and sometimes, and especially, the roles we've been carried for years that are draining our energy. People pleasing, overachieving. So that is what is already beautiful and alive, and that we can receive more of when we put a slowing down to our tempo and give it our care. So one of those sayings for me was, love into what loves you back. And that isn't about closing our hearts or becoming, cold. It's about being selective with our energy and honoring the places where our love is received, where our presence is appreciated, where there's an exchange, and where we can continue to grow together honestly. Life is so precious. Our energy is so precious. And as we become more intentional with where we put our attention, then we can discover something quite beautiful. And primarily that it's full of self-love and self-worth. Because the true love that we really are seeking is the one coming from within. And then we don't even have to force anything, right? We don't want to try to even change someone. We just meet it where it is. Because reality always wins, like Byron Katie says, but just always. And we simply have to recognize that we are the ones that we have been waiting for all along. And I think that's one of the reasons this community means so much to me. This podcast has become one of those places where I feel I can simply come as I am. It's a little comfort cave. We can be vulnerable, reflect out loud, and share what life is teaching us in real time. And I know every one of us is walking through very different circumstances. Yet, I also believe that these themes we experience are often so universal. We may have different stories, but underneath them all, the soul is often learning very similar lessons. Like one of my teachers says, there's nothing new to the ego here. These stories are very much recycled and repeated through Earth. And I like to think that the cosmos is humming quietly in the background through the astrology and the numerology of each season, and giving us invitations that many of us are responding to at the same time, each in our own unique way. And then just think of how entangled we are through the field. So we do affect one another. So oftentimes it's like we're working through similar stuff, and many podcasts or teachers or friends or communities are talking about very similar themes. Well, we aren't separate from each other. We're more interconnected than we often recognize. So my hope is that these conversations continue to become a little thread that we're weaving together in our community, and feeding each other hope and encouragement and support towards our healing work. I still hold to this day very dearly the vision of opening a little yoga studio or healing center, in the back of our property. And I want to just expand that vision and really bring in all the senses to that picture. Visually seeing the beautiful smiles and the gathering of beautiful women and people practicing together, sharing story in circles. And then moments where things get more quiet and intimate and personal through soul regression sessions, where it's not just the client learning, but I'm learning too. Our spirit teams are conversing, dropping questions and revelations. It's a very mystical and profound experience where the divine are very much aware that we're doing this work and interacting with us. And together, these sessions just become a profound revelation. And also the yoga, the healing, the stretching of our bodies and nurturing our joints, meditation groups, workshops, connecting even over Zoom with those of us who are living far away from each other. So this dream is continuing to grow, and it's in my heart, and I'm imagining the beautiful gardens and hummingbirds and the faithful steps that are needed to bring us together and more together. So this brings me to something that I've been reflecting a lot too, which is the sacred detour, and what we often perceive as an adversity or a delay or life is getting in the way. And actually, those are those pauses of the Mercury Retrograde that we were just talking about, so that we can embody everything that we're learning. And these moments, they're not taking us away from our purpose. They're part of our purpose. They're like supplements. They're nourishing us. And in turn, this work will eventually be coming back into the world from all that wisdom and all that growth that happened in those in-between moments. Like just this week, for example, my little boy developed a pretty uncomfortable heat rash. And as many parents listening out there, anything involved with our children can immediately send us into worry mode, right? Well, I had been planning to record this episode for weeks. And every few days I'd think, okay, today's the day. Maybe today's the day. But it simply wasn't time yet. My son really needed me. My attention belonged with him. And I felt, like as if something was holding me back, but in reality, nothing was holding me back. I was living the natural rhythm of life. And from those moments, I was able to glean that, we need to change the rhythm of things, something that becomes more sustainable, so that I can actually enjoy all these parts of my life, like approach them with pleasure, not because they need to get done. So once he was feeling better, and I felt it was time to hand him back over to Dada for a little while, like this weekend while I record this, then I was finally able to return here to the mic. But with my heart was more at peace, grounded and calm, instead of feeling like I'm divided here and not really present. And to me, that's more important than producing something according to schedule. It's about honoring how the season is looking for us. And sometimes we just need to be fully devoted to our family. I mean, it's the most important thing. At least to me it is. And in other moments, I'm more devoted to my creative space. And in that moment, I feel at peace because I've given my family all the love that it's needed. And then there's moments where we're really called to rest. And that can be really hard for many of us because we can be on this like hamster wheel and overachieving. And what are we afraid of? That if we don't do that, that our world is going to fall apart, or this sense of urgency. And that's something that I've learned so much in my community of Kabbalah, and how important that rest is to our health and nourishment. So the wisdom is learning not only what season we're in, but trusting it and then fully living it. That's it. Nature is giving us all the information. Are we listening? Life is talking to us. Are we listening? And then to trust it, embody it, take the rest, go to your hammock, take the nap, read that book. So that's what this new rhythm for the podcast is teaching me too. It's inviting me to have a sustainable long-term rhythm. What am I saying yes to that can be done in a more loving and healthier way? How can I continue nurturing all of my dreams that live in my heart without feeling like I have to water them all at once with a fire hose every single day, right? It just can't be. You're going to destroy the garden that way. And ultimately, we affect our body negatively because we're draining it. So our dreams don't need a flood. They just need faithful little drips. You know, like those hoses that have little holes that move around the garden and do the dripping, the gentle dripping, watering of the plants. Yeah, like faithful little drips of attention over time. And it reminds me of that old story of the hare and the turtle. Neither one is better than the other, because there's seasons when courage is asking us to sprint. And there are moments when the wisdom is saying, hey, embody the turtle that takes its little shell, which is its home everywhere it goes, and slowing it down. The gift is really learning which season we're actually in by deeply listening. Oh, and speaking of those little faithful drips, I'm really excited to share something with you. During the time that I had the podcast on pause, it became very clear to me that I needed to do some website updates. And again, I'm not a developer, I'm not a designer, I'm just doing things within my ability from my cozy little office. And my website has officially received my version of part 1 of the facelift. There's always room to grow, and believe me, I have great ideas for part 2. But for now, I'm choosing to celebrate this milestone instead of rushing towards the next one. And I'm so happy and so proud of that. And I'd love for you to visit, and I'd love to hear what you think. My website, as always, is healtruelove.com. And the photo travel journal that I'm working on, which is the next project that's getting my attention after releasing these episodes, is about our UK adventure that's coming to life. The first chapter will be about London through my eyes, with beautiful storytelling, even about years past of my life, of other chapters, all woven together, like my fascination with street art and the mentors I had during that chapter of my life, and all the little moments of wonder and lessons that we learned about trusting our dreams. And if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, please come visit us and subscribe to our newsletter so that you'll be the first to know when it's ready. And that's the thing here, that not every dream has to be completed overnight, right? Some dreams are simply asking us to keep showing up with love, trusting that little by little they become everything they were meant to be. And that's another thing, it's been a little while since I've gotten back into my soul regression manual and classes, and I know that it is coming, and I am patiently waiting. I am watering everything that needs to be watered so that when I go there, I can also devote fully to that. So it's all about walking with mindfulness and awareness and trust so that we're not frantic and impatient and feeling like we're falling behind. The sacred detour isn't where our dreams go to die. It's actually where they deepen their roots and fill us with wisdom so that we can continue the dreams and the journey with more of an expansion or maybe even an uplifted frequency. So, I actually think this is the perfect moment. Dreams are so important in where we are right now with Leo as well. So perfect timing. I just naturally felt guided and pulled and just this deep desire to finally watch the movie Michael, about the life of Michael Jackson. I kid you not. We've been wanting to watch this movie for weeks. And Friday nights have been our little family celebration. I know it sounds funny, but that's honestly what we do to party on a weekend these days. We turn on the AC, maybe order some Chinese takeout, my new favorite, and it's my little delicious treat. And we rent a movie. And most of the times we're watching travel documentaries, anthropology stuff, sacred sites, things that are about education and learning. We love that kind of stuff. But every now and then, we have our Friday night treats with some kind of sensational movie. And this one felt different, you guys. I can't even begin to tell you how emotional I became about this movie. I seriously been crying for 2 days. Today is Sunday, and we watched on Friday. I've cried so many different moments during this weekend after watching it. Right from the beginning, I found myself just in tears. Hard situation that was happening between him and his father and all the abuse that was going on there. And even now that I'm recording this, I'm still feeling a little emotional about this. And one of the things that I felt really moved by this is that I'm having some nostalgia in my heart. And I wasn't just watching the story of his life. It was watching someone who carried an extraordinary gift, and he chose to share it with the world, despite all the unimaginable challenges. And as many of you know, because of my soul regression work, I just couldn't help but wonder about the nature of his soul. Is he from the origin of earth-based souls? Because he's deeply woven into a family story that carried profound lessons for everyone involved in that soul family, that soul pod? Was he from an angelic realm soul? Because he's so devoted to compassion and justice and his innocence and the healing that seemed to radiate through so much of his work. Or perhaps he's an interplanetary soul. He's bringing in this new perspective and creativity that felt like it was beyond this world, and that he was a key messenger for profound healing that was needed in his family, the incarnate family. And of course, I don't really know exactly what the soul origin is. I can only offer these thoughts as reflections, not conclusions. But I couldn't help myself but contemplating about the incredible impact that this soul and that any soul can have during a single lifetime. So it also made me realize something about myself. I grew up with his music, and in Honduras, everybody knew who Michael Jackson was. I mean, everybody in the world knew this. He is perhaps the most famous artist ever. And I always thought he was incredibly unique. but I wouldn't have called myself a devoted fan back then, partly because my life was different. We didn't have the internet at our fingertips to explore somebody's life and interviews or deeper messages. We mostly just knew the music. And if I'm being real honest, my younger self was listening to heavy metal and rock and roll and all these alternative bands like Smiths, The Cure, the Violent Femmes. So I was always drawn more towards like fringe music rather than the pop music. So that's just where my attention was. But as I was watching this film through the eyes of the woman I am today, it had a very different experience. And it reminded me of something I've been reflecting on throughout this whole episode, that we can only perceive life from the depth that we've cultivated within ourselves. Like we can read and watch the same movie when we were 15 and then again at 50 and discover something completely different. So in many ways, that's how I experienced Michael, from a different point of view, a different story, and I have changed, and therefore the way I perceive it has changed. And years ago, I heard all those songs, and today I hear his soul behind them. And what touched me the most wasn't the fame or the performance. It was him, his soul, his courage, what he went through as a kid, and as the relationship with his family kept unfolding. And here was someone who actually left his comfort of the nest. Well, I wouldn't call it so much comfort, but what was familiar, to follow his gifts and what he was entrusted with, even when the path was lonely. And I found myself grieving something I was not expecting to grieve. That I'll never have the chance to experience one of his concerts and to see him in person and his magnificent energy and radiance, to simply be present in the energy of his, of his gifts, of his skills, of his singing, of his dancing. Oh my God, those moves. And I also found myself feeling at the same time so grateful that this movie was made, that his truth came out of his, deeper energy and passion and love for the world, for helping others heal and helping those who didn't have as much as he had, and inspiring all of us around the world as a ripple that continues so many decades later. And I just had a lot of emotions afterward, and it made me think about my own life and my own dreams and my own trust in my dreams, and just seeing how his mom would talk to him about these gifts were put in you by God, and they're real and they need to be listened to. And am I doing the same with my dreams and in my life? It just really hit home. So I started to write some little reminders that I wanted to share with you. They aren't exact quotes from Michael, but they're lessons that I felt I heard through the story and through the movie. So I'll share them with you now, because I think it's such a perfect timing, and it's always like that, I feel, right? It's like perfect place and time. How this movie came to the forefront, naturally I was gravitated to it, as we're underneath this influence of Leo and making our dreams, come true with courage. So here's some tidbits that I think would be fun for sticky notes. Oh, I love that, how he would put the sticky notes in his vision board. Your gifts were given for a reason. Don't hide them. Each masterpiece begins with one brave step. Adversity is not the end of your story. It's part of your becoming. Keep showing up. Magic favors the faithful. I love that one. You don't need permission to become who you were created to be. protect your joy. It's part of your purpose. And your dreams deserve your consistency more than your perfection. Oh, and here's the last one. One loving choice today creates tomorrow's miracle. And perhaps that's why this movie touched me so deeply. It was about Michael, yes, for sure. But also this movie was meant to become a mirror so that we can ask, are you trusting your own gifts? Are you giving your dreams the same devotion that you've admired in someone else's life? Those are such powerful and beautiful questions, because there are many Michaels in the world with all these beautiful gifts from Creator that they can't even be imitated or repeated, because there's only one you and you're so unique. Every soul comes here carrying something only they can offer, seeing it the only way that they can, through their beautiful eyes. And the world becomes a little brighter each time one of us finds that courage, that inner flame, the pilot light, to share it. This movie is a catalyst that reminds us to stop hiding your own gifts. Life doesn't become more meaningful because it changes. It becomes more meaningful because we do. I think there are moments in all of our lives when we quietly question ourselves and we wonder if perhaps that kind of magic and joy or success is meant for someone else. We continue showing up for our dreams, and maybe we don't give them everything we've got, because somewhere deep down we're still wondering if we're truly worthy of them, if we're good enough, if what we're creating is good enough. And I've had those moments as well, and even recently. For the past 3 years, we've been offering a free family yoga gathering in the park for our community. And it began in the simplest way imaginable. I was just looking for other moms with little ones because, if I'm being honest with you, being a mom can feel so lonely. I simply wanted to connect with other moms, and I wanted my little boy, who was an only kid, to connect with other kids too, and have our kids play with each other, connect with each other, and have a place for moms to breathe together. And over the years, it naturally evolved into something that now feels sustainable, more aligned. Rather than trying to do more, this year it was decided that it would only become a once-a-year gathering as a beautiful way to reconnect, while I continue to listen to what Creator was asking me to bring into the world next. And then something so beautiful happened and unexpected. Within just a couple of days of posting the event, people began to share it, friends reached out with encouragement, the flyers were printed, and excitement really started to build very sweetly and very tenderly. And even one of my dear, sweet friends from Kathy Heller's community, she told me that she might come and travel from another state to support us. And she understands. She's a mama. She's a mama of 4, actually. My goodness, she's so strong and so brave. I just love her. And she also understands the grief journey I've been shortly after my son was born, because that happened to her. It's incredible, the synchronicity of our life stories. And I can't even tell you, I'm just beside myself. I was like, what? Really? You would come to the park class for us, for me? Really? Is it worth it? Is it? Wow. And it just hit me that message from the Michael story was actually happening live just in these last few days in my life. amazing how everything is so interconnected and synchronistic, because we are. We're all made from this field. There is nothing but the field, right? So, wow, that gesture and those gestures of love really awakened something in me. And that we may be creating something that we just thought, oh, it's just very simple. It's just this little thing, getting together with moms in the park. And you may even underestimate it. But it was actually a true thing, a real dream. And that all these little things that we create really matter. And they impact others' lives, others' souls. And sometimes we think our offerings are just too small to make a difference. And we think that they just go unnoticed in the world. They'll just disappear. But every once in a while, life just lifts the curtain and lets us see that something we've been faithfully tending has been touching hearts all along. And then, as if life wanted to underline the lesson, more little confirmations began arriving. Another friend of mine wrote this beautiful testimonial about some of the work that I did. Friends from my old days in San Francisco on my street art days encouraged me to include their work in my upcoming travel journal. And these were people that quietly mentored me for years as I wandered the Mission District in the Haight-Ashbury, learning about murals and stencil art and graffiti and public art. And one by one, all these little moments just kept arriving all in 1 week. Synchronicity. Not loud and bombastic and dramatic, just all these little whispers saying, keep going. And watching that Michael movie, it was like a whole entire different meaning. And his story is just reminding us that our gifts are never ours alone. They are entrusted to us for a reason. They are another way that the Creator expresses his and her love through human souls, human hands, voices, art, kindness, teaching, music, movement, service, whatever it is, smiling at your neighbor, saying hi to the stranger down the street. They are all part of our gifts and they all matter. Give your gifts a voice. Give them a microphone and give them a tuxedo. Let them step onto the stage that they were created for. And that's why I was so emotional, because it completely inspired me to admire his courage and actually dig into his music again. And we played some YouTube videos of him with my son. He really loved Thriller. Little kids love stuff that scares them. It is like the adrenaline rush. And we played it, and we played some YouTube stuff, and we started to dance and to mimic his, way of dancing, like the moon dance, and just this cool moves he had. I was like, wow, that is so unique. And even my son and I were dancing in the living room, imitating him. It was so much fun. Yes, I was definitely inspired. But like I said earlier, I think this movie was about inviting us to trust our own planted seedlings in our heart and our soul, our own dreams. And when we step back from the mandala of our lives and we start to see that we couldn't recognize while we were standing inside our lives, but we step back and we look at the bigger picture, all the loose threads, all the unexpected turns, all the tragedies, the beautiful crossings, the painful places, the rocky roads, they have all been weaving themselves into this intricate, beautiful, unique tapestry that can never be repeated again. And your events weren't random. They were revealing a quiet guidance and perhaps contracts that we made before we were born. And life doesn't necessarily become more meaningful because it changes. It becomes more meaningful because we change. We do. As we ripen through the decades, our perspective ripens along with it too. I think about my years living in Mexico. I didn't own a bicycle or a car. I walked everywhere under the warm sun, carrying my groceries, listening to the tropical birds. And at the same time, I had challenges that felt enormous. I was teaching yoga in an addiction recovery center and in detox clinics, and also doing my own inner work in recovery, navigating just situations that oftentimes felt completely overwhelming or like life and death. And back then, some of those problems just felt like huge mountains. And now, looking back across the years and years later, many of those mountains have become like little piles of sand. Not because they weren't real, but because I grew. And that's what I find so fascinating. The same life, the same memories, the same story, but we perceive them differently, and differently now that we have grown. It's like rereading, right? That book decades later, and the pages haven't changed, the words haven't either, but we're seeing it from a different angle, and what we get out of it is different, maybe deeper. And that we can only perceive life from the depth that we've cultivated within ourselves. That's where we are in our consciousness. That's where we are in the moment, and that's what we perceive in that moment and act upon and live from. And that also brings the teaching of how can we be upset about somebody else, because that's where they are in their journey. It's very liberating. So every chapter has its own season and its own reason. They don't last forever. This motherhood won't, at least of a baby boy. And grief is not either. It's going to transform and change. The sleepless nights eventually will become more restful evenings and nights full of beautiful dreams. Even our greatest accomplishments eventually become these just cherished moments that we can even enjoy from heaven when we transition. So while we are here, the invitation is simply to live each chapter that we are in today as fully as we can, even the uncomfortable ones. Because one day, we may look back and realize those very moments became the foundation of who we are. From that perspective of the soul, death is not even the end. And perhaps worry was never the answer. And when we begin looking at life not only through the human lens, but through the eternal lens of the soul, something will soften inside of us. Less afraid, more trusting, and little by little, life continues to teach us about the beautiful language that we have between us, that we're becoming more fluent in. Who are we becoming? Not what are we accomplishing? Not how much am I producing or how successful are we? But who are we becoming through all of this? And are we listening to our soul, our higher self, for the purposes that we designed before we came into this life? And so, my beautiful friends, I think this is a perfect place to pause and to create this podcast episode that will be continued into part 2 very soon. And I want to create the part 2 soon enough too, because it has all this very important timing, because it has all this astrology and numerology that pertains to this time in our lives. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow the show so that you can get notified when the part 2 is released. And let's see, is there anything else I need to say before leaving? Yeah, this was great. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that I'm back here with you as this came out. It came out with all these thoughts and revelations that I've been having in these last few weeks, and that I'm grateful for your patience and your support and your love through all these changes, and that we're growing and changing together, and that more will come, and that I'm really excited for that part 2 so that we can, use the astrology and the numerology insights as we navigate our own details of our lives. So I can't wait for more, but this is a perfect place to pause and maybe go watch the Michael movie if you haven't already done so. And maybe in the comments in YouTube and in Spotify, you guys can put comments. Maybe share the movies that have been inspirational for you lately. I always love hearing from you. I'll leave in the show notes some of the stuff that we talked about in this episode if you are feeling curious to learn more about soul regression, to check out our uplifted website, and so on and so forth. And until then, so much love. Keep blooming exactly as you are and who you are becoming. So much love. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And namaste. Thank you for listening to the Empowered Soul podcast. If this episode touched your heart, I'd love for you to follow the show and share it with someone you love. Stay connected with us on Instagram, explore our website and blog, visit our YouTube channel, and discover more soulful creations here. healtruelove.com/links. Until next time, keep blooming exactly as you are and who you are becoming.